Once upon a time, there was a man and a woman in an old cottage that lived alone. But they had 2 children. One child was a boy and milked the cow and got, not milked the cow. He got the firewood, chopped the firewood, and brought it into the house and made the fire. And the young girl, she milked the cow, fed the animals on the farm, and helped out with cooking. And one night, there's a knock, knock, knock on the door. And the boy walks over to open it, but he does not open it. He looks through the eye hole and sees it's a little minstrel, all cold with little icicles hanging down from his ears and nose. And he thinks, maybe he can do my job. So he opens the door and the minstrel quickly says, please, please, please have me stay. I am freezing. I have icicles hanging from my ears and nose. And he asks his father, he could do my job for me, and he could earn his stay. I could do something else for you. And then his father says, come back tomorrow. But the minstrel says, I'm a tale teller, and I can sing songs and say poems. I will do anything for you. Please just let me stay. So he says, you may stay in the pig's den. And that was lucky for him, the boy said. And the boy's name was Willie. Willie said, you're lucky to stay in the pig's den, because normally we don't have any blankets, so we have some wool and not very comfortable beds. So you are lucky to lay on the piggy. He had a favorite piggy, Willie had a favorite piggy. And the minstrel gave this piggy a gift to talk. But his magic wasn't good enough. And when the pig started to say its name, it was in Pig Latin. In Pig Latin, you add 2 letters, and I forgot those 2 letters, so I can't tell them to you. So, but 2 letters at the end. And so, he started to talk Pig Latin, and the boy knew Pig Latin because it had just these 2 letters at the end, so he thought, yes, I can understand this, and even I understand it. And then a rattle, 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 rattle came at the door. Willie walked to the door again, opened it, and there was a girl, a young maid, that had 5 daughters. And she said, is this the house of the elves? And Willie's father walked over, who was kind of large and kind of wide, he walked over and said, "Yes, this is indeed this is. Come in, come in. We were waiting for you. She is..." And he said, "Really, this is a guest that's staying for dinner and staying for about 3 months." Then Willie walked away to the table. He was thinking, "Oh boy, now we have 7 children in our house. And these guests are our aunt and uncle." So he decided to make a special dinner. He never knew how to make dinner. But his little sister had shown him how to make some soup. With some broth. So, broth. And so, he went out to cut his wood. He cut, chop, chop, cut, chop, chop. Down the wood and brought it in. Now, you can picture how this is, with some logs in his hand. We normally have sticks, but these are nice round logs. And he goes in and puts them by the fireplace, collects some twigs, and takes a rock and a stick. This is how they used to light fires, and they still do in the old times. He scrapes the rock with his stick, and now this is like a match, and lights the fire. And then he decides to make his soup. So he starts making out the bowl, and the broth, and the chicken, and the salad, because he wants to put some herbs. And then he remembers something. It's winter. Hey. And here's his uncle and aunt talking real fast. And then they slow down and be silent for about 15 minutes. And then they start up to laugh hysterically. And they think, and he starts to make hot chocolate. Now, he's never made anything except, well, he's trying to make his soup, and he doesn't know how to make soup, but he got taught how to make soup, but he hasn't made soup yet. So he doesn't know what's going to happen. This is what happens. He starts to boil some water because he needs some water for his hot chocolate, and he starts to put the stuff together in the bowl to make soup. Alright, he didn't put any water in the bowl yet. And, well, it's kind of like a pan. And he puts it on the stove and turns the stove on to confet. Wait, yeah. Because he can't read that well, and he thinks confet means cook. Alright, this is one of the things you should not try at home. And it starts to like heat up too much, and he quickly runs to it and turns off. He puts, and the water is boiled, and he thinks, I'm not going to make soup. So he puts the pan away, he puts the stuff away, into the garbage, and makes his hot chocolate. This is when the good part comes. Aunt and Uncle goes to bed. Minstrel walks down the stairs and says, May I please have some of that chocolate? And Willie says yes. So Willie and the minstrel are sitting by the fire on this cold winter day, wrapped in blankets. And finally, there are 7 children right now. No. His sister walks to the door, opens it up, and yells, screams, and runs up the stairs. And the guy comes in with, 5 children. And he says, ho, 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 it's a lovely day. And this is one of their sons that were at college. And all the kids come in, and they haven't seen them in a long time. They have 12 young lads. Now, all 12 young lads sit by the fire with blankets and have hot chocolate on this cold winter day. Mom and Dad reading stories. And that is chapter 1. The end.